Peace, everybody. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you. Oh, not even prepared. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. But peace, everybody. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hugo, can you hear me? Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. Let's get some more people in the chat room. Get some more people in the chat room, family. What's up, family? Cool. But everyone, thank you so much for joining. Today's or tonight's topic, I know a lot of people wanted me to speak on this. And the topic is why Black Americans cannot travel to Ghana visa-free yet. Now, this could change. This could change, at any time. And when it changes, I'll do another video. But why Black Americans cannot travel to Ghana visa-free, but Jamaicans, Guyanese, and Bajans, which are people from Barbados, the Barbados people can. And I'm going to build on why. And it's really easy. The answer is really simple. So, somebody sent me this article, basically a visa waiver agreement between Jamaica and Ghana to be implemented. And we're going to jump into that article real quick. Guys, make sure you hit that like button before we jump all the way in. Before we go all the way in, make sure you hit that like button. Just do me that one favor. I don't ask for much. So again, just make sure you hit that like button as you come into the chat before we really start breaking this down and dissecting everything. But it's a real simple reason why. Really simple. Why Black Americans cannot travel to Ghana visa-free, but Jamaicans, Guyanese, and Bajans can. Now, let me read this article. This is from the JamaicaObserver.com. Visa waiver agreement between Jamaica and Ghana to be implemented. And this was on Sunday, June 16, 2019. The president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is on a tour for the year of return in the Caribbean. And so, I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys know or if you guys have been hiding under a rock. This is Ghana's official year of return for the diaspora, marking the 400 years of slavery, or when the first slaves arrived to Virginia from Africa. Now, Ghana played a very big role. Well, Ghana wasn't in existence during that time, but the Gold Coast, which comprises of Ghana, played a very big role in the slave trade. I've been to Elmina Castle in Cape Coast, and they go into details about slavery and the slave trade, how, we were taken from the interior, brought to the slave dungeons, the conditions we experienced. We were defecating and peeing on each other. People were passing out and dying in the dungeons. Women were just having babies in the dungeons. Then we get stuffed on a boat and we get sent to the Americas. So they go into detail about, what we face, the conditions we face. So to commemorate that, Ghana is celebrating the year of return, encouraging the Black diaspora, the African diaspora, to come back to Ghana. Now, as far as Black Americans, I don't know what tangibles are being offered. Now for Jamaica, Guyana, if I said that right, and Barbados, they're getting visas. Their visa fees are going to be waived, but it's reciprocal, meaning that in return, Jamaica, Barbados, and Guyana, whatever, you know what I mean. They're going to not enforce or charge Ghanaian passport holders visa fees. So it goes both ways. Well, let me finish reading this article. Kingston, Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says a visa waiver agreement is to be implemented between Jamaica and Ghana. Holness said the foreign affairs ministers of both countries have been mandated to negotiate and conclude the agreement. The Prime Minister was issuing a press statement to Jamaica House along with President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who arrived in the island yesterday for a 2-day official working visit. So he ain't there to play, he's there to work. The statement followed bilateral talks between both leaders. President Akufo-Addo visit forms part of a Caribbean tour to promote the Year of Return Ghana 2019, which is a major landmark marketing campaign targeting the African American and diaspora market to mark 400 years of the first enslaved African arriving in Jamestown, Virginia. Now, like I said, I still do not know what actual tangibles. Now, there are some, and see, that's the thing, that they're not just Black Americans. So there are some members of the diaspora who return or who currently live in Ghana who are given citizenship. But that's not, I guess that it's Black Americans, people from the islands. It's not solely inclusive to just African Americans as far as that group of 200 who receive their citizenship. So we see Jamaica, or Jamaicans, Bajans, and Guyanese who are getting tangible specifically for them. So where are the tangibles specifically for the African American? The Prime Minister noted that the campaign was central in our discussions, noting that the initiative presents excellent opportunities. Exclusive to African Americans. Excellent opportunities to build on the fraternal bonds and take the relations between our two countries and our peoples to greater heights. We can use this initiative to forge increased interpersonal connections and at the same time deepen the trade and commercial relations between our respective countries, he said. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but this is the question. This is the question. Now, again, Ghana, the country, went into an agreement with Jamaica, Guyana, and Barbados, the countries, in regards to the reciprocal visa waiver agreement. So the question is Black America a country? And if Black America is a country, who is the president of Black America? How can Ghana go into a reciprocal agreement with Black America in regards to waiving visas? So again, it's easy for Ghana to go in agreement with Jamaica and these other countries. He said Al Sharpton. Right, so Nana Akufo will have to meet with Al Sharpton. And then Al Sharpton could sign off on Ghanaians coming to America visa free. No, it doesn't work like that. So again, is Black America its own country? The answer is no. So at the end of the day, Akufo is it going to meet with Black America to get some reciprocal agreement in place in regards to waived visa fees? He has to go meet with Donald Trump, who technically is the president of Black America. I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that. I know a lot of you guys don't, aren't trying to, again, buy that and accept that. But that's just the reality. Donald Trump is the president of Black America. No, Trump is the person to talk to. Because if something like this was to be implemented here in America, he's going to have to go through Donald Trump. And I think just not too long ago, Donald Trump, I think, put a halt on issuing visas for Ghanaians. I think they worked it out, but yeah. So that's the issue with this. That's why Black Americans can't travel to Ghana visa free, because Black America is not a country. That would have to be something rolled out to American passport holders. So in order for Black Americans to travel visa free to Ghana, for the most part, Black America will have to be a country of its own, or we will have to hope that Donald Trump or the next president will come into agreement with Nana Nkofo or Adufo. I'm sorry. Yeah. The president of Ghana. That's just the reality. That's what I'm saying. It's a reciprocal agreement. So it wouldn't be specifically, because again, this is the year of return for the diaspora. But when you're looking at members of the diaspora who I guess live in non-Black countries, when it comes to perks like this, Nana Akufo will have to go through Donald Trump. And Donald Trump will have the final say on if we can have this reciprocal agreement with Ghana. And if he says yes, it's not just going to be specifically for Black Americans. That's just the way it is. So a lot of people were asking me about this. Because again, I went on the Ghanaian website for the consulate website, and the visa fees are still there if you're an American passport holder. They're still there. But another thing I want to talk about too is just just people in the Black community who are just trying to undermine everything we do. These educated, and they really started to show their true colors when Obama was in office. Obama ain't just the president of Black folks, he's everybody's president. Obama ain't just the president of Black folks, he's everybody's president. And see, that's why even trying to get something like this, the HR 40 that's coming up, none of our so-called leaders, Maxine, Mammy Maxine, and all them, none of them have been talking about this. It's this week. It's this week. And none of our so-called black leaders are even talking about it. None of them are. So even if Akufo was to present, the president of Ghana was to present something like this, the congressional black caucus will probably try to block it. But damn it, if it came to waiving visa fees or giving illegal immigrants, non-black illegal immigrants, citizenship, oh, they'll sign off on that all day. They will sign off on that all day. Yeah, the Congressional Black Caucus are the biggest clowns. They are some of the biggest clowns ever. Guys, hit that like button as you come to the chat room. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. If you guys wanna hop on, send me an email. Send me an email if you wanna hop on, okay? I just put my email in the chat. But even something like the year of return and visas being waived, visa requirements being waived specifically for Black Americans to go to Ghana, the Congressional Black Caucus will probably block it just because. That's what we're dealing with. And when they have the panel on reparations this week, let's see who's going to show up. But has the Congressional Black Caucus been as vocal about HR 40 as they are illegal immigration, LGBTQ? No. And if I'm wrong, prove me. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. The Congressional Black Caucus have been more vocal about LGBTQ, non-Black illegal aliens. They've been vocal about everything else except for HR 40. I know you haven't heard anything about HR 40. Shout out to Ya Ankaran for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I know they haven't. I'm telling you, and they just want to undermine the Black community. And that's a problem, and that needs to be addressed, and we keep addressing it. But Black people have been reduced to not wanting. Hey, Tori, I'm about to send you the link right now. Tori, I'm about to check your email, Tori. And that's a problem. We have just a bunch of again, the Congressional Black Caucus are just undermining and sabotaging everything for the Black community. Then we have just Black people who just support this just being sabotaged, who have joy and who are proud and who boast about not demanding tangibles specifically for the Black community. It's like you get all this education, you swear you know everything about politics, but then you come out and you brag about how you don't want anything specifically earmarked for the Black community. Exactly. So John Lewis staged a sit-in on the Hill to get some DACA bill. It's either DACA or LGBTQ alphabet bill passed. But when it comes to HR 40, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Hey, Tori, I just sent you the link, fam. I mean, they go hard and wide. I mean, Maxine Waters has been sitting here trying to find Donald Trump's damn tax returns and get him. Donald Trump's not going anywhere. It's already June 2019. Donald Trump isn't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. So instead of wasting time and energy and resources on trying to get Donald Trump impeached and trying to uncover his tax returns, y'all, y'all more concerned about that versus focusing on these reparations. Hey, Village Boy, my age. Hey, my name's Bone Music. I just sent you the link. You got the link. Hey, Tori, you there? Oh, there we go. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
All right, everything's good, brother. How you doing?
Supreme, just chilling, man.
Okay, okay. You wanna add to the transmission?
Yeah, I mean, just from one businessman to another, I want to congratulate Ghana on a really clever marketing scheme. Uh, I mean, real talk. I'm just keeping it real. It's a good marketing scheme. It's really unique. You know what I mean? But in the end of the day, time and time again, when I look, when I'm not being distinguished from a white person, you know what I mean, or a colonizer or anything or anyone else,
Mm.
I can't necessarily call that like a return to, or what do they call it? I think of it when
Year
I
of
can't even
return.
remember. Yeah, the year of return, but is it like to return or is it the year of the visit, the year of tourism, right? And I watched his Barbados speech, and he clearly did say in there the priority that he really placed it on, the year of return. He seemed to prioritize more for people to visit. He said that he would love for people to come home to Africa. He would love for you to come home, but he prioritized more of it being something where you're visiting. Um, and for me, like I said, all I really see is it the year of the visit. I don't see anything specific that they're giving. You mentioned they're giving tangibles, but I don't. It's not really tangibles when it goes two ways.
But it's not. I would say, you know what? You have a point there. You have a point there. But I'll still see it as a tangible because those people with Jamaican passports, and Guyana and Barbados, they could enter the country visa free.
No, and that's something. It's something. Okay, let me say it. I don't want to say that it's not a tangible, but like I'm just pointing out that it is going both ways. So Jamaica is offering them something too. I mean, Jamaica's a big tourism place, and the rest of these places are
True.
very big tourism places.
True.
Now, in his speech to Barbados, he did mention so Barbados is having a nurse shortage right now. For anybody that don't know, they're short about nearly about 400 nurses short in their hospitals. Just period, they need nurses, um, and he pledged to assist them with some nurses, give them some Ghanaian nurses.
How
Now,
many?
that's the thing. So someone in the crowd asked him how soon would that be able to happen and how many people would come, and he pretty much dodged the question. So
Yeah, because I
he
mean, Ghana has a nurse shortage.
well, that was the first thing that I said. Well, I don't know that they specifically have a nurse shortage. I just know that that's an issue on the continent in general. But I don't like to whitewash the continent as if they all have the same problems because they don't. So I was wondering. I was like, man, I didn't know Ghana had nurses to give out like that. But if they're short upward of 400 nurses, I don't know what type of dent Ghana could put in that. But if they even sent 20, 30 nurses or whatever
Yeah.
they could send, I would love to see that. That's definitely a tangible.
Somebody says Ghana has a nurse surplus, I believe. I mean, they could. I don't think so though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if the other brothers on. Hey, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up,
Man,
Donnie? This Menage.
Menage, what's up, man?
Oh, chilling, man. Just wanted to chime in. I'm originally from Sudan, and
Okay.
yeah, and I'm a big fan, and the year of return, you know, I want to agree with the brother on some points. Is a big marketing campaign, but at the same time, I think it's a good message being put out there for the brothers brothers and sisters in the diaspora to kind of key in and to check out Africa, look at Africa. You necessarily don't have to go to Jamaica. I mean to Ghana. Africa's big. I think it's a good thing to put out there so that way you could go and go visit Africa like you've been doing, Dynast.
Hmm. And you
Well,
know
yeah.
what?
Let me
And
real
Troy, I'm
quick.
gonna say this, man. That's another. He just made a great point. And I know my Ghanaian family are gonna be upset. In fact, I'm going back to Ghana in November. I don't understand why the focus has been so much on Ghana when it comes to Black Americans when we go to Africa. Like I still don't understand how Ghana became the center of just Pan Africanism when it comes to Africa. I understand Kwame Nkrumah's from there, but he's been dead for 50 years. So,
I mean,
I think that's the thing. Like Black Americans, when they go to Africa, need to look outside of Ghana.
definitely. I think Ghana have been very vocal about it. Ghana, Nigeria, places like I'll say more Western Africa, but like in terms of East Africa, the only country that I know that has like more of an international appeal it will be either Kenya, Tanzania, somewhat Uganda. I wouldn't say go to Sudan. You see what's going on in Sudan right now. Sudan is very tragic. But
How long have you been in the States?
I've been in the States since 2009.
Bro, I need to me and you need to do a separate show on what's going on in Sudan because that's
Yeah,
we need to
it's
go ahead.
Yeah,
yeah,
but really quick. But first of all, if you go to another place in Africa, it wouldn't be any different because you're not getting anything special, particularly going to Ghana, right? For one, so yeah, I agree that you should. But and two, I don't want to make it seem like I'm against what happened. I actually think what happened is good. We could talk about why do Americans go to Ghana, but I mean, there's a few reasons I could think of. First of all, look at the grind. I mean, he's actually out here visiting countries, speaking. This is something that they actually push. Number two, Ghana it's one of the safer countries over there. So the things that people hear when they go there, they feel like there's something safer. Like I'm going to Nigeria with you, Don. It's here in a minute.
Yes, sir. Couple months.
Right. So I'm gonna be there with you. But when people hear Nigeria, you got Boko Haram, you got they're gonna rob you, you got to get security, all these things. You don't hear this when you talk about Ghana. They don't even
no,
have any like terrorism incidents or any of these things. So there's a few reasons why people do go to Ghana. I don't want to shoot down. Like I told you, I was serious when I said it's like I guess it's backhanded, but I'm serious when I'm saying that's a good marketing plan. So they do put effort and energy into this, but it is good that we realize we can go other places. But at the same time, I can't fully take away credit from Ghana from reaching out and what they're doing. I was happy to see them down there. I'm criticizing because I feel like we need to put these things out here. We got to, we can't just sit back and just because people make incremental changes, now we got to hold our tongue and not say anything. We'll never
Right.
get anywhere that way. You know what I mean? But yeah,
definitely.
I want to give them credit.
Just to give you a different perspective. Like me, before I came to the United States, man, I didn't even know what an African American was. Be honest with you.
Mm.
Until I got here. When I got here, I moved to California. I'm in Pittsburgh right now. I moved to California. When I moved to California, um, I thought the Mexicans were, from my perspective, I thought they were white people until later on.
They
I got,
are. They are. No, they're white. For the most part, they're white.
no, for real, yeah. I was like, yeah, these are white people. Till like later on, I realized, the differences, the different, ethnicities and whatnot. But like I think just going to Africa in general is good exposure because, hey, mind you, a lot of Africans do not know a lot about what's going on here in the United States, especially when it comes down to the history of our ancestors, like what happened to them. Africans don't know about that. You know, the only thing that African people know, the majority of Africans who live in the continent, the only thing they know really is about white people in Hollywood, and and when a white individual come down there to either to Sudan or whatever country,
God,
they
he's
look for,
Jesus.
yeah, it's Jesus. But so so when their message has been put out there, like, hey, the year of return, I think it's more of just a symbol. But there are places like you mentioned, Ghana. There are places you could go to, so that way you can interact with some Africans from the continent, and then really let them know like what's really going on, and see if you like something over there that you might want to invest in, and would there be a time, would there something out there that appeals to you, you want to invest in? I think would be definitely a good thing for anybody from the diaspora to go, take a risk. That's all I can say.
And then there are also some countries, like Rwanda, as far as
Tanzania.
acquiring citizenship or passport is easier. Is an easier process than Ghana for Black Americans. Togo is another one. There's several countries where it's easier to get tangibles than Ghana. I'm just, again, as a Black American, we're taught Ghana is the hub for Pan Africanism. But I was talking to somebody today. There are Ghanaians. I mean, there are Black Americans right now in Ghana who've been there for like 20 years, still cannot get their passport for citizenship. That's a problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One more thing too. So Ghana has there is a series of events and things that they are hosting that have there's a Pan Africanist event, there's a African American investors event, and there's a couple more things. If you look on Eventbrite, and I think you go to visitghana.com or something like that, there's a few events that are coming on. So I gotta also get, again, it's not a tangible, it's not a passport to, or a pathway to a passport or citizenship. It's not tangible. So I'm still holding to that. But they are doing some more things with this year of return.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give the credit. I still have the same criticisms, but I'm gonna be balanced. You know what I mean? Because I have nothing against Ghana. I love what Ghana's doing, and them doing this makes me say to the rest of the countries, I mean, where y'all at? Where
Yeah,
you
right.
guys at?
For real.
Well, and that's the thing. Ghana is a beautiful country. The people are beautiful. It's just, again, I think it's just the politicians. Well, that's just about every African country, but I mean, just get it done. I mean, give the Black American his passport and his citizenship, and there should be no excuses.
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, I just feel like if you're gonna say this is the year of return, if you're gonna say you're coming back home as a brother, this is basically what you're saying. He said, "This is our home," in a Barbados speech. He said, "We can go home." If this is my house, bro, you can't treat me like the white man. You can't treat me like every other person, because when you tell me something like this is your home or whatever, that's just like, for instance, you could go somewhere, right? Like, because I travel to the Caribbeans a lot, and like I could be in Jamaica, and I could go somewhere. When it serves them or suits them, they'll say, "Hey, what's going on, brother? Man, yeah, welcome to Jamaica, da 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 da." But if you pull up somewhere, like say you go to a party or a store or something like that, the moment that they see you, and the service point is not for, it's not welcoming you as a brother, is not necessarily the service that they're providing. It may be food, it may be the club, it may be whatever. They look at you and they say, "Shit, we can get some more money off this dude. Hey,
Mhm.
we usually charge 10, but give us 25 because y'all Americans." Now you got to argue with niggas and all of that. So
Yeah.
in the end of the day, it's really just, that's not real. You see what I'm saying? If you're not giving nothing up, and I'm bringing thousands of dollars into your economy, and you're the one that started it, claiming that I'm a brother coming home, you got to give something in order for that to be genuine. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Right. Let's see. Last, thank you for the super chat. I just don't understand why countries like Rwanda, relatively safe and clean, and offer dual citizenship, do not get as acknowledged or even considered. Rwanda, not as much red tape. easier to get your citizenship, but everybody just sees Ghana. Police brutality worldwide. Go ahead, brother. I see you on. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. How you doing?
Good, good. Go ahead, brother. I know you want to ask something.
Yeah, it's quite funny that Ghana is the only one being very generous in that aspect. So I don't understand why they're being generous anyway, because they're the ones pushing for the year of return. Uh, Politicians can be funny at times, you know. We don't know why the president of Ghana is pushing this stuff because been pushing it since last year. It started from in Washington when he started the whole thing. So I'm like wondering because I saw the video too. So I'm like, don't really want to say much, although I know some little things that's really going on because I've lived in Ghana too when I was a child. During the time of the Rollins. So, of all the countries in Africa, Ghana is the one really pushing for the return of people from the diaspora, and other nations are not doing suit. So I don't know because you know that most African nations are in the pocket of the West. Me being from the continent, I have the right to say so. So I don't know for Ghana because to me, I see it more fine. People can come to the continent, visit, but sometimes politicians are looking for the economic and business angle of things. Because we have a lot of African leaders that are sellouts. My country being a very typical example, Nigeria. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just my take on it. So sometimes people need to watch carefully of what is really going on. I'm not saying that people can't go to the continent. You can visit the continent. You can see the continent. No, I say no to the African hatred or people hating Africa for no reason. But you can also come and see things for yourself. But you have to be wise. We live in a very dangerous world worldwide.
Well, first of all, you said why are they? I mean, they making money. You know what I mean? They're making money off tourism. I'm not mad at that. See, I'm not the type of dude. I'm not knocking the hustle, and I'm not necessarily mad at people trying to get their money. I'm looking at that as positive. You know what I mean? That you have an idea to where you can pull in some tourism. It doesn't hurt that we're bringing our tourism money there. It's enough black people trying to go everywhere the hell else with their money that's not black. So I'm not mad at the move. You know what I mean? I don't want to turn this into a, that kind of, you just want to make money. I don't want to turn it into an anti-money, but just miss me with the fake talk. If it's nothing, don't say I'm your brother. You like, if my brother comes to my house right now, I'm not gonna treat him like a stranger. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm not mad at him trying to make money because honestly, like I'm looking for places to move, either a home or a second home, at least until my daughter grows up right now. And that's one thing that is attractive about Nigeria. People is out there hustling, getting money. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people. You know.
Definitely, because Nigeria, 200 million people.
Yeah,
So
and they hustling. They got
the
a lot of
market is there.
products. Yeah, no, and exactly. So that's the type of culture I want to go into. So when I see people want to get money, we can't be on that kind of that kind of nigga shit as far as like, oh man, you just want to get your money. We got to get off of that too. So I don't want to condemn them for making money, but I'm just saying, if I'm your brother, treat me like your brother.
And then also too, Sierra Leone is another country. As long as you could prove, like if you take the African ancestry DNA test, and if your DNA comes back to one of the tribes of Sierra Leone, they'll give you citizenship. So that's
And the
another.
fact that Sierra Leone is where most of the European people that were taken as slaves to Europe, where a part of them was sent back to create Sierra Leone, and the
Right.
fact that for Liberia, a part of our people that were slaves in America were sent back to Liberia to create Liberia.
And then I want to say, in fact, I'm going to reach out to the Liberian consulate. She's here in Atlanta. I'm going to reach out to her tomorrow because I think if you're of African ancestry, you could get a citizenship to Liberia. But let me get that confirmed. I'm going to do that tomorrow.
He said I look like Mozzie.
Yeah. Mozzie from my hometown, Sacramento.
I get that all the time. My hair ain't even down. When my hair is down, they really say it.
Yeah, but Mozzie can't come back to Sacramento though. That's all. That's another story. But
he can't go back.
Nah.
I don't know. Last I heard of him, he got arrested or something like that.
Nah, he lives in LA now, but he can't. He's not.
Oh,
He's not. People aren't too fond of him in Sacramento. I'll leave it like that.
damn.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got here in the chat room. Yeah, but it's just like I said, it's that's the main issue. It's just Black America is not a nation. Until we fight for nationhood, we're just gonna be stuck like in this catch-22.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point too, man. I mean, one thing I did like seeing that, just even that whole Barbados, because the Jamaica, the one in Kingston, it was just a speech. The one in Barbados was a joint press conference with the leader of Barbados, and just seeing the interaction go between the two of them and the questions from the crowd, where people they can speak between one another, trade with each other, they can ask questions that are really relevant. Like I've been learning and looking into a lot of African politics, and I watched a speech with this same Ghanaian leader. I don't want to butcher his name, but he sat down with France 24, and the host on France 24 told him. He said, so recently the white host saying recently there's been a lot of people getting mad about the people integrating into European societies. There's been a lot of complaints about that. And, there's even been some groups forming. He said, how do you feel, asking the Ghanaian president, he said, how do you feel about the issues arising with immigration in Europe? He said, he's basically paraphrasing. He said, I'm not worried about the issues in Europe. He said, I'm only worried about the issues in Africa. Straight up, none of our leaders do that kind of stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? So these are all things that people got to realize. When you have your own nation, there's a totally different ball game that you can play. So like, I'm a part of the BIO. When we go and start talking to people about nationhood, they don't understand. You're not watching these press conferences. You're not watching these interviews. You're not seeing the difference in how you move when you have a country, when you have a budget, when you when you listen to your politicians. I could listen to an hour of an African president that has sense. He's going to say things that are actually relevant, right? You can listen to 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. You could binge watch any African American person in Congress, person in anything. You could binge watch them for 2 days, for a damn week, and they're gonna say damn near nothing relevant to your life. Nothing. Nothing.
Hey, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of the politicians out here in the United States, one thing I notice is like they don't have balls. And if they do, I think it's like there's some kind of fear for either fear to come out their box, or some of them have been programmed to not speak out for the greater good of the Black people. Like like some presidents even in Africa, they've been compromised. Like a lot of the African leaders are compromised, but one of the things that I think Africa has hope for is the new generation. And also and this is the year, I mean, not the year of return, but the information age. This is like the information age, and a lot of information is being put out there. And it's easy to see when somebody's compromised, when a leader who pretends to portray that image like he or she's for you, but in reality, they're not really for you. They just over there to speak, to have you be in a state of mind where you won't be questioning them, or or voicing your opinion. Like here, I see a lot of the African leaders that came from Africa as immigrants. I see how they turn over time. First they'll come and and be all about the community, and want to get us to intermingle with the different cultures out here. But little by little, you see how they turn, like how they change. In terms of once they mingle with like white folks, you see like their whole they throw everything that they knew out the window to kind of align themselves with the culture out here, and I see that even like I have my own sister. Like me and her, we don't agree a lot on a lot of things, but I see how, you know, just not having that nation, like you mentioned, not having that nation, how that, plays into effect in terms of your dignity and how you voice yourself. I think if the African American culture here has Africa behind him, man, you won't be seeing the police brutality that's going on out here.
Mm.
You see, like it hurts me, bro. Like when I watch the stuff online, sometimes like I have to control my mind. You know what I mean? Some of the what I mean, stuff that I contemplate in my head because it's not right. And being black, even I'm from Africa, man, I live with constant fear. You know, anytime I get pulled over and like we see what happened in Arizona recently,
Yeah, exactly. With the babies. Goodness.
yeah. And, I commend our brother. He was very calm and collective.
Like, what else can you do? Like you'll get your they're looking for a reason to blow your brains out.
But how can you reason with that? You getting dogged out in front of your family, in front of your women. Like, how can you be a man? And how could you feel like, yeah, I have a pride, I'm defending my family, when you have this, white supremacists pointing this weapon at you, and if you make any unnecessary movements, that's your life right there.
Right.
And the only thing that can anybody can possibly do for you is a protest. There's no nation that will voice their, will bite back. Like say, you know what, we're sick of this. You mistreating our black people. We don't like this. And for that, we're gonna take these actions until you learn to respect the black people, because you know what I mean. Being black, man, like I think being a black man is the most endangered species, followed by the black women in this world. And I mean globally.
Yeah, no. Well, firstly, I agree with a lot of points. First of all, your first point about people not having balls and all these things. Now, it just comes down to a system. People got to realize systems do what they're intended to do, or
Mm.
they get ended. That's two options. You can make incremental complaints to make small, tiny changes over time, but they either do what they're intended to do, or they're broken. Now, when people come here, systematically the way that these people get into office and positions of so-called power, the leader, the people who fund them, the people who matter the most are not black, or they're not only black. And if they're mixed in with other groups, there's a power imbalance as far as black people and the other people that they have to serve, their other constituents. So they always have to speak to these other issues. And we don't have the political maturity to ask for what we're supposed to ask for. We're getting better.
That's the thing. It's just, and we have these so-called educated political so-called pundits who swear they're so smart, but just again, you just said something. They are lack. And but they know. That's the thing, Tori.
They sold out. They sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sold. That's the word. They sold out real good too. Because you see other communities that come here to the United States, and they just seems to thrive. And there's no problem with them. Collecting their community together to voice their voice as a whole. Like you look at the Hispanic culture. I'm like I say, I'm from San Diego. I look at the Hispanic culture, and they ride together. And if something goes wrong, you got Mexico, acting funny. And if one of them get killed, I mean, this, the thugs, of course, the gang wars happen, and that's something that you probably won't see on television. But like, if you kill a Hispanic individual just for being Hispanic, like how they do black people, trust me, Mexico won't have it, or even the Asian people, they're not gonna have it. Indians, they're not gonna have it. Iraqians, they're not gonna have it. It's only done to black people because
No, well, it's okay. Let me partially disagree on it. So they actually, so you said, what year did you leave San Diego? That's where I'm at.
I left San Diego 2017.
Okay. So were
Late
you here?
17.
Were you here when Alfred Alongo? You were here when Alfred Alongo was shot.
You,
I don't
you
know if
know,
you remember that.
crazy thing, that's my brother right there, man. Not like blood brother, but like what I mean, we grew up together.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. I was out there heavy when that happened, man.
Oh, you was
So
out
yeah.
there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Now I was still out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was still out there.
Yeah. So for the audience that doesn't know, there was a Ugandan brother by the name of Alfred Alongo, who was shot by the police out here in San Diego a few years ago. There was heavy protests in the street for some days. There was a lot of groups that were formed in
Right.
response to that. So I mean, you don't, and this is where I'm from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm from San Diego since a kid.
Are you from San Diego?
Yeah, that's where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I lived a couple other places, but I'm San Diego. You know what I mean? So I seen San Diego changes and all these different things. The people that were out there, the black people that were out there protesting for Alfred Alongo, it's not like they were Pan-Africans. We just see each other as one people. That's how we've always thought. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we was out there for him the same like we would be out there for anybody else.
No, it
But
was tough though.
hmm?
Yeah. No, I said the black community came out there tough. Credit to I was amazed, bro. I was really amazed because if it was to count the hands of the Africans that showed up, it was probably like 100, and then the rest was I'll say the black American that came out there and really you know um stood for what I mean for Afro Lango.
No, yeah, no doubt. No, appreciate it. But see, for you to be able to see that, most continental Africans that come here, they're not as aware as you are. So they kind of like, put their blinders on and they don't really absorb this information like you're able to absorb it. So they're not thinking like that. They think they can kind of sidestep everything that's happening, you know?
I mean, a lot of Africans. I'm gonna be honest. I'm African. A lot
Yeah.
of us we don't tend to like for instance, like coming to the United States is a process too. And a lot of us who've been culturally conditioned to kind of like key in on not seeing other things. You know what I mean? Because like I said, Hollywood has played a big role in terms of conditioning like a lot of the Africans and coming out here to the United States and not seeing that, um, and how that really plays on the long run, and and a lot of my brothers, you know what I mean? They a lot of them don't want to step out the box to, to to um to show who they are, and they truly really love, the black people here. They really love them, it's just that bridge hasn't been built yet. You know what I mean? For
So
us,
like in San Diego, the main, so when I was younger, the main Africans we had here were Ethiopians and Somalians. You say
definitely, yeah,
you're Sudanese, right?
right.
I've met two Sudanese people here. It's one sister, she's a model, and then I haven't even met you. I just heard of you.
Who
Um,
Ja
huh?
or Atong?
No, she's a female.
Yeah, there's a female that I know that Wayne, took it up there. Her name was Atong, and I don't know the next one.
She like real tall. I don't know. I got some photos of her.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, there's the Ethiopians and the Somalians. So I don't know if you've been on University.
Oh man,
There's
come on, man. Come on. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, but I say they got the African Alliance there. Then
Right.
they have there's a full block where there's stores that aren't even in English, where Africans are going there. They kind of got their whole own thing going on there.
Right. Like we call that damn I mean the Somali mall. There's definitely Somali mall. It used to be
Oh,
fan
hey,
base.
look, I used to sell. So yeah. They called it the new Famart. So
Yeah.
it used to be a brother in there because I used to sell like like way back in the day. I used to sell the bootleg Jordans and all of that. It used to be a brother
Oh, you
and the
spooky.
shirts. Yeah,
Oh,
I had
What
that.
you
I
getting
had the
shiny?
little. I used to have the little shirts with the dudes popping their collar or whatever. And I used to do business. I used to do business with one of the Ethiopian brothers in there, or I'm sorry, Somalian, because they
Yeah,
had their
yeah,
own little Famart up in
definitely.
there.
Yeah, the Somali mall.
Right. Yeah, no, so they had their own kind of thing popping, but the ones that went to school with us, we was always cool, but it was always like they were still separated into their own life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Their own thing. But it ain't like we was seeing each other and wasn't messing with each other. We
Yeah, I
was
mean,
cool.
like for most part, like for instance, like some of the Africans were afraid like to interact with because the gang culture was really kind of heavy out there too. For instance, I went to Crawford. Do you know Crawford?
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I went to
Crawford right
Crawford.
over there. That it ain't far from me. There's a little spot right down the street from Crawford,
Oh,
right past that little, huh?
You talking about Kalina Park?
Yeah. 'Cause there's Kalina Park, but there was a Ugandan party there's a little spot. It's right. If you walk out of Crawford and hit a right, it's like a little lasagna Italian spot. And it's a little spot right down the street from there where there was this African party where they do some parties. But go ahead.
Oh, is that on Alcohol Boulevard?
El Cajon. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's just quite a few of them out there. But what I was saying, like, you know, a lot of my Somalian brothers or even Sudanese brothers, like, when we meet, like, you know, when that conversation starts, man, you know, it's like one of the natural things that happens. You know, like, oh man, you know, I'm from, because you know, most of the time when I meet like my brothers from America, they're curious about, you know, okay, how was Africa like? You know, what do you used to do out there? What does Africa look like? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know, that's when we, you know, we break the ice, and you know, that was like one of the best things that I can say, that, you know, when meeting my brothers from out here, you know, it's always that bond. It's just so natural. But, you know, a lot of the time, you know, a lot of us been conditioned to not, you know, go and break the ice, you know, and start that conversation. We rather just be quiet and mind our own business. And when we see another African, we'll be more open to talk to them, because I don't know, I guess it's just part of the culture.
No, you're right. You're right. Look, for instance, I was in the grocery store 4 days ago, and I seen a sister, and I knew she was from West Africa because of her nose, and I just went up to her and said, "What's up?" And I asked her if she was from West Africa. Turned out she was from Ghana. We ended up talking for like 25 minutes. She invited me to her church. She talked about all these different events. She's like, "Yeah, you need to come. You need to da 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 da." But if I don't initiate that, none of that ever happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you had never approached her, she would probably wouldn't have talked to you, and you could have been, oh yeah, that's just like this. She's just, you know, whatever, you know, whatever thought you would have had. But since you went in front of her and talked to her, you know, that's what happens, you know, because, you know, Africans, you know, like, be honest, you know, when I see you, well, you black, you know, even I've been got made fun of for being dark, you know what I mean? But that's part of growing up, and a lot of us, you know, sometimes take that to heart. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like, growing up in the neighborhood, it wasn't easy. You know, you had to have tough skin to take some of the jokes, you know, that comes at you just for being darker than everybody else. You know what I mean?
No, look,
But
I was gonna get on that. Yeah, because when you came, because you talked about like the gang violence. If you got here in 2009, you came when it was like calming down. In the 2000s and the you know what I mean? It was worse back then.
In San Diego? In San Diego?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
People don't know that. Oh,
San Diego's ugly, man. I'm telling you. And right now, I think the Hispanic culture is taking over right now, though.
Yeah, things is totally different. See, it's hoods that was black that's not even black anymore, because so many people is leaving. But when they first came, it was some Africans out here banging a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That was happening too. But yeah, we definitely used to clown. I was talking to my homeboy about that the other day, because it was like I was like, dang, because they used to call them they called them all Mollies.
Yeah, Molly's.
Everybody was Mollies.
Yeah, that's fucked up, bro. I'm telling you.
They called everybody Mollies. But see, the thing is, Black Americans just clown. That's how it is. Like my homeboy.
But they take it personal though. We just clowned.
Yeah, we clown. Like we had one homeboy, my homeboy OG. He came out here. He came over here at like maybe like 15. You know what I mean? He was old, so he had a real heavy accent. He could barely speak English. You know what I mean? So you know we was letting him.
I already know, bro.
Well, you know we was like, but the thing was, he just stuck with it because he was just a confident dude. He was cool. Right. We accepted him. He was one of our homeboys. He played football, so we fucked with him. It was cool. And like if you hit him up to this day, he's super close and super cool. Even though he clown, but see the thing about him, he'll clown your ass back. You know what I mean? Even barely speaking English. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, people clown, but we was all good. You know what I mean? Especially if you went to school with us.
And you know, so, like I say, when I first got here too, I didn't even know what African American was. Like,
That's crazy.
My first friend, his name was Marcus, and when I used to interact with him, I just knew that he knew how to speak English better than me. So I thought naturally he been here longer. You know what I mean? And when I went to school, that's when I kind of you learn about slavery and whatnot, but I didn't even know what African American was.
That's crazy, bro.
Hey, yo, police brutality. You wanna add something to this? I know you on the line chilling.
Oh, Diners, I was just listening through to get what the brothers are saying. It's good for me. I'm more of a listening person to understand what's really going on. Yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah, so we got Nigerian, Black American, Nigerian, and Sudanese all on the same panel.
I'm telling you.
And I think there's a Somalian brother that was hop on. What's the brother's name? Hold on a second.
2 San Diegans too. That's
Raul Panther. Send me an email.
And that's a crazy thing though, man. You know that saying Molly's. The Molly's.
Yeah, Molly's. I know you remember that. They used to call them Molly. Look, we used to put it in our little local raps. It was, yeah, they used to clown the Molly. But it was a couple of them was homies though. Like if you went to school, you usually found some friends in your school.
And a lot of those brothers, a lot of them got deported back home too.
Oh damn, I didn't know. I never heard that.
Yeah,
deported for what?
I mean, like you know, coming out here to the United States, a lot of us, you know what I mean. We, a lot of the brothers, didn't have like kind of like a straight role model to, for them to follow, because most of us are African parents don't really know much about what's going on once we leave the house. So we can tell them like, oh yeah, I'm going to, study somewhere or whatever, but you're not really going to study. You're about to go kick it with your friends. And then, you just learn the things that every American do, when they hang out and stuff like that. So a lot of us get caught onto that lifestyle, you know what I mean? Eventually into gangbanging and then, getting locked up and stuff like that happen.
Let me ask you this. Is that a problem in the Sudanese community? Because I'm noticing the Sudanese, y'all be getting like, especially like in I was watching something, it was Sudanese in like North Dakota or South Dakota, somewhere was just crazy, just banging. And I'm just like, God damn.
I mean, a lot of us, it's becoming that, like North Dakota, the Sudanese population out there is heavy. Just like if you was to go to Minnesota, the Somali population out there is heavy. So to them, it's like, you know what I mean? Like just them acting out. That's what that is. You know what I mean? And kind of like adjusting to this, American culture. Some of us are born here, so we naturally. Like, some Sudanese kids don't even want to identify as Sudanese. They think they're African American. So to them, that's just natural to them. Going to jail or just acting a fool, gangbang or whatever. That's just normal to them. You feel me? They're not really trying to identify what's going on back home, because back home right now, you see the wars going on. I want to go back home. I can't even go back there because there's no telling. Yeah, there's no telling.
No, it come down to that school, bro. It's like when they come to school with us, that's when they, that's where they're really forced to be in the same place with African Americans, and you know what I mean, and kind of adopt American culture.
Yes, yeah, that or like I know a couple brothers who been locked up, and they always tell me how things are in there, and because California, I guess they have politics in there, and
that too.
Yeah, you have to choose, and you can't just be like, I'm African, and I'm riding with Africans. You got to ride with everybody who's black. So
right.
So yeah. Then that stuff, but like, because me right now, most of my friends right now, I'll say actually 99% of my friends are all black people, and one of the coolest thing about that is just the curiosity, wanting to know about what is Africa like. You being asked a lot of questions, and it shows you that there's that part in you that want to identify with the African, but at the same time, sometimes we don't give out that energy or the right amount of information to lead you more into the motherland, because we necessarily don't have that knowledge, or maybe just the language, we just can't verbally communicate as well to let you know, like, how beautiful Africa is, even though there's war and whatnot. That's not stopping the white folks from going there. That's not stopping from the Chinese from going there.
See, but It depends on the African too. So if you're Sudanese or Somalian back when we was in school, it's like, what are you leaving from? Like I got a close homeboy. He run a spot out here called Reggae World. I don't know if you know him. He's from Sierra Leone, but
Okay.
yeah, he's an Avalada dude. He's so people be thinking he's Jamaican, but it's like he left Sierra Leone in the '90s when the RUF was running around tearing shit up. So it's like when you come over here, leaving from situations like that or what they left in Somalia, you ain't you can't really send that message. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But
Because
when I
you
talk, go ahead.
traumatized.
Yeah, exactly. But when I talked to the sister from Ghana, she wasn't saying that. She was just saying like, yeah, you could go back. It's peaceful. It's this and this. She kind of kicked some dirt on the Nigerians a little bit though. She said the Nigerians,
They be hating. They be hating.
everybody does
They be
that.
hating on us. They be
I
hating
mean,
on
the
us.
Germans be getting a lot
Everybody.
of hate, though. I ain't gonna front on that one. Can't
Yeah,
hold you on that,
no.
bro.
Everybody. She was like, yeah, the Nigerians is coming bringing the violence, but
Hey, but you
we're
know one thing
peaceful.
about Nigerians that I really like about Nigerians, bro. Nigerians, they are not afraid to push the line, though. That's one thing I like about Nigerians. They are out there putting themselves like I intermingle with a lot of the Nigerians, because I'm into I write music and I produce and whatnot. So I intermingle with a lot of the producers, you know what I mean, either out there in the content or over here. Um, you know, one thing I know about the Nigerians, man, that these people are hungry. They're hungry.
That's what I was saying, bro. They hustling, bro.
They're hungry,
They just
bro.
the whole
Like,
mentality.
yeah, it's like they're trying. How you see how the Chinese low key are, globalizing themselves. They're trying to take over the. I mean, not take over, become like the next superpower.
Right, right.
Like, they have that mentality. Like you know, just want to be on the top, and and that, you got nothing but respect for that. And we do have a Nigerian here. He can attest to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Dinas, I have a question for you. Like, what's your mission in Nigeria? Like, what are you trying to build? You trying to become a farmer? You trying to build houses? What are you trying
I
to do,
want, I
man?
want, I want to focus on media and get involved in real estate and really the media aspect. But that in real estate, man, and just build. I mean,
So
Nigeria
when
is.
you say media,
Don't get me wrong. Nigeria has its issues, but
yeah, of
I
course.
think Nigeria, if you want to go out and get it, man, Nigeria is the place to be.
Right.
Well,
I
let
mean,
me ask. Go ahead, go
go
ahead,
ahead,
bro.
go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
I don't want to go to. I know we kind of already off the topic, but okay. So I seen. So I talked to a lot of Jamaicans. There was a Jamaican sister that was watching a Nollywood movie, right?
Yeah.
Now, come to find out, this is something that they do, right? So my question to you is, if they'll watch low budget, and not that all Nollywood movies are low budget, because they're not. There's some high budget ones too. But if they can
Now they are.
sell, yeah, now, right?
Yeah.
But if they can sell that down, if they can sell Nollywood movies in the Caribbean, like, do you think it would be possible for us to have like a low budget? I don't know, some type of name, but like a low budget where we could sell B movies to the Caribbean and to possibly to Nigeria?
But as far as like Black
Black
Americans,
Americans, yeah, because I mean,
yeah,
all of us ain't Tyler
yeah,
Perry like that,
yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Hey, and also like
In
you know,
fact, I got a boy, and maybe he'll be in Nigeria when we go, Tori. He might still be there. He's shooting. He's a Black American. He's shooting movies right now in Nigeria. In fact, I need to text him and see how he's doing.
yeah.
you
See,
know, the industry is very new out there. So if you could tap in, and see what's really trending, because like when I see, because I know a lot of Jamaicans and I kick it with a lot of Jamaicans. I was shocked too, just to know that they was watching Nigerian movies and having fun, laughing and all that.
yeah,
If you go to Jamaica, you know what I mean. There's parts that are developed, but in the Jamaicans, kind of like Africa. To be honest with you,
It is.
and
just like it.
yeah, so like some of the stories is relatable. Like they can relate with the stories and you or whatever the storyline may be. Any kind of storyline can go as long as you can make the connections. So that's why it pops.
But see, I just don't understand because not
Real,
just that.
real quick, Tori. Guys, hit that. We have 375 people watching, only 188 likes. Guys, please hit that like button. Please hit the like button. All right, go ahead.
No, okay, because it's not just the movies, but the Afrobeat and all these things they spread.
Thank
And
you.
now I understand that Now there, I know the reasoning behind that because the UK has a strong, the first of all, dancehall and reggae, and then the UK, and then that connection to Nigeria, right? So the cultures actually are closer, more intertwined than people have. They know the history of, so they
Mhm.
connect with those things. But I just don't understand, how is it that there's this whole other world that the Caribbeans and Africa are able to connect on, and then when we come to Black Americans, we're just completely disconnected from it. I don't see. We got all these people that make these low budget movies. Like I was showing a Nigerian, that Jamaican movie, Shatas. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I seen it.
They love the movie. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not that we need to be making ignorant movies, but I just don't understand how they can be so connected and we're just not connected. Like I was playing some Afrobeat songs at a barbecue yesterday, or on Saturday, little Father's Day barbecue, and just niggas don't want to hear it. Like as soon as they stop understanding the lyrics, they just didn't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see why we're so far off. And
I
what's the
mean,
disconnect?
I think it could be low key. I'm not saying it's definite, but it could be low key that you know when anything that comes from America, they're expecting that to come from Hollywood. And it's supposed to be like top of the line. Um, so so as soon as once somebody see the video and they see that this is an American accent, this is somebody from America. They're assuming that you come in with like $1 million. I mean $100 million budget on a movie. So I think that could be something that that's pulling them away from that. But also at the same time, I would have to disagree with myself because, like you said, movie like Shatters could have been shot out here in the United States. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
could have been like it could have been you playing it or anybody any brother from you could run into in the street that just knows how to act. It could have been them. I think we could probably look more in depth on that to kind of understand like
But
what's
I
really
really,
connected.
but see, Shatas really, it mainly popped in like Florida, New York. It popped
Right,
where the
right.
immigrants were, to be honest with you.
But
Because
it's
we, I,
spread though.
Dinus, was y'all watching that when it came out back in '06?
I don't even know what's it called.
Shatas,
Shatters. It's with
Shatas.
I think Ziggy Marlin. That's Bob Marley's
No,
son.
I've never seen it.
Okay, yeah. See,
Yeah.
you from Cali like me. See, we wasn't even feeling that in Cali.
No, I never seen it. I just don't. The only movie I saw with a Jamaican influence in it was Belly.
Right, right. Okay, look. It had the same dude, the Jamaican. He was in Shatas. The
Oh,
same
okay.
Jamaican.
The dude that was what was his name?
He's Teddy
The drug
Bruckshot.
dealer. What's his name? What was his
Yeah,
name? Belly.
Ox.
Ox. Yeah, Ox. So Ox was
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
Ox. Yeah,
Okay,
Ox
Ox.
is in it.
Okay,
Ox is Teddy Bruckshot. And then you
okay.
got Ox, you got what's the brother's name? The Haitian singer. Big time Haitian singer.
You talking about
From Roots. Or
White
from
Cliff?
not Roots. Wyclef John is in it.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled made a little cameo in it. But it's a good movie.
And Bob
You should
Marley's
watch it.
son was on there too.
Yeah, Bob Marley's son, not Ziggy, but
It's Damien. No, not Damien. It's
not Damien, the
Kimani.
other one.
Kimani.
Kimani Marley. And he did a good ass acting job too.
Hell
Dude,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
it's like it's kind of low budget, but the writing and the story, like I could watch that movie a million times. It's ratchet as fuck, but I could watch that
Yeah,
movie
it's pretty
over
ratchet.
and over.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out.
Oh, bro,
Yeah,
I could
it's
watch that
ratchet, but hey,
movie.
you can
Oh,
ride with
it's
it.
funny as hell, bro.
But one of the cool thing about that, it kind of takes you into Jamaica. You feel me? Like,
It
because
really do.
a lot of people hear about Jamaica culture, but they don't really, see up front like what is it like. You know what I mean? All they hear is Rasta and the weed. But when you get to see the interaction, you know what I mean? I think that's appealing to the audience.
No, it. I mean, you get to first of all, they speak in Jamaican patois. I have subtitles. They
Right.
kind of show you like the kids. They show you the corrupt politics. They introduce that
Exactly.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
And the
it's a
hustle.
it's a nigga movie. Don't I don't want to, what I mean, but it's still a good movie though. It was written good. It's a good movie, and half of the movie is in America, by the way.
And so
Oh
is
wow.
that what
But
you're trying to dive
it's
into?
say that again.
Is that what you're trying to dive into? Into films as well?
Well, see, I do like documentary style stuff. So I've never actually shot like motion picture style type film. I've just there's people I mess with out here have brought me on to assist them. You know what I'm saying, as like a cameraman and do stuff like that. But
Mm.
for me, I feel like just seeing that, I feel like we kind of move away from the just doing documentaries because documentaries are good, but films actually burn things into your mind. Films are history.
Hmm.
Films
I mean,
make people as
I mean,
kids. You feel me?
cause you see, like, with Hollywood, one thing that they're good at is attacking your subconscious mind, and they'll inject a lot of footage that will attack your subconscious mind. So like definitely film, man. Film is a big, big, big. That's the biggest program in the world. If you in terms of you see a lot of the 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 image of the black or the Ethiopian child that has that big stomach, you know what I mean, starving. That's all film
Well,
right
see,
there.
and this is the thing too. So the one thing I really noticed because I've been pushing myself to watch movies. So I just watched there's a funny Burkina Faso movie by the name
Right.
of it's called The Uncommon Woman. It's a
Mm,
funny movie. It's a good movie. So it's a I'm sidetracking from my point, but it's basically it's a female. She tired of her husband cheating on her, so she
okay.
brings in another husband and makes them live
Right.
as co-husbands. I don't want to give it up, but that's the plot, right? So I'll end up watching it. It's low budget, but it's actually a good movie, right? So I've
Mm,
been pushing myself to watch this and some other Nollywood movies. And if you watch Nollywood movies, you'll realize they don't have every movie is not like a degrading movie where it's some hood shit and it's just in the village and it's just ignorant shit. They show themselves in respectful roles because again, going back to nationhood, when you own your nation, when you run
Right.
you're in charge of the images that you put out. Every
Mm.
movie's not gonna be a nigga movie.
nah,
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
definitely no.
They showing
Definitely.
themselves as chiefs. They showing themselves as doing things. So like there's a movie on Netflix that's pretty good called Lionheart. And the opening of the
Yeah, yeah, I
movie,
love that. That's my wife, right? The girl. That's my
oh
wife.
yeah?
Yeah,
No, no,
You
no.
already put a claim on that?
that's my wife. Yeah, don't look at her, Tori. Don't look at her. That's my
Nah,
wife.
hey, no, that's a good movie though. I was feeling the assistant in the movie to be honest with you.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but the main girl, damn, what's her name? I forgot my wife's name.
I thought the assistant was better.
Nah, man, the
I like
now, what's her
City of
name?
God. Oh, City of God was a good movie too. Me and my
Oh, City of
homeboys,
God
we
is my the City of God is
love that.
fine, classic.
We love that movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched
that
that.
was a good movie. That was definitely a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
movie.
her name is Genevieve. Genevieve. She's the main character
Hey,
in Lionheart. Genevieve. That's my wife. Y'all leave her alone. Y'all stay away.
hey, she already
Oh,
in
oh, she wrote
Nigerian.
she wrote and directed that too.
Yeah, she wrote and directed. Yeah, she got paid. I want to say she financed it herself too.
Shit. Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah,
shout
so
out
that
is
to
that
was
what you about to tap
actually
Johari
into?
it was
Thomas.
actually a good movie too.
No, it
Hey, is that
was. It
what you about
was.
to tap into, Dynex?
Huh?
Are you gonna tap into that?
Yeah, that's my wife. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have beautiful babies.
Okay,
Me
whatever,
and
man.
Genevieve, we're gonna have beautiful babies.
That's what's up, man. I think that would be the fastest way to get your citizenship, bro.
I already got it.
Oh yeah, yeah, you did. I think I saw that video, man. Hey, you moving fast though, man.
I mean, I think the people just understand you have to be on the ground.
Yeah,
Hey,
people should understand that Dynas is almost Niger already.
Yeah, I'm on Niger.
and that
Yeah,
was a
he's a
good one
Nigerian
right
citizen, so yeah, it's a good one.
Mhm.
there.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jamari Thomas in the comments. Jahari, my bad, Jahari Thomas. She said Chief Daddy and what's the other movie? Chief Daddy and Lionheart. Shout out to your Netflix.
Mhm.
She watched
Yeah,
all the Nigerian movies on Netflix.
Yeah.
yeah, but dude, shoot, what we'll do, man? We'll go ahead and close out. Tori, we'll start with you, brother. If you want to shout out your YouTube page or what you're doing and your site, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, y'all could go. So I got a YouTube channel as Mufasa Shabazz. If one of these days I'm going to start making videos again, if y'all want to go check that out, and then you can go to facebook.com/Black Division. I have about 100 videos. I'm on a hiatus now, but there's about 100 videos documenting Black political things that were going on, interviews of people running for DA, going to Black events and putting together video coverage of just things that are going on, talking to people about Black voting, just different. There's a lot of content on there. Facebook.com/Black Division.
Is that in the States or that's
So I no,
okay.
so I was here just in San Diego. I was going to black events. Just I would just film things. Like for instance, there was a brother out here. He has the Blue Heart Foundation, where he has a group of a bunch of like young kids that are in a mentoring program where they go to different things. They had their breakfast. I covered it live stream from multiple angles.
Okay.
I got some video of them dancing. We interviewed like people had Malcolm X Day. I filmed that, covered that, did some interviews with people to that. So there's just a bunch of stuff on there.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Hey, that's
It's
some
all
good stuff.
local. All of it is in San Diego.
In San Diego. I'm
Yeah.
surprised I didn't run into you, man.
Yeah. Black Division is only a couple years old, well, almost a couple years old. So I wasn't like doing
Okay.
it back then.
I mean, hey, it's a small world. I'm sure I'll run into you.
My Sudanese brother, go ahead.
Hey, you can check me out on YouTube as Manaje, Manaje. Definitely, man. Dynasty, you said you wanted to talk more about that Sudan, what's going on
Yeah,
over there?
in fact, hey, let's do something tomorrow. Are you free? You free tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm free. What time would you want to do that?
I'll shoot you email in the morning, but in fact, probably around this time, like around 8 o'clock.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. So I could get more facts. So, I know a lot, but I could get more facts. And also
Yeah,
I can give you my personal account too, like some of the stuff that I, overcame whatnot.
yeah. I mean, I know y'all be them beautiful jet black Sudanese models. I love them.
Oh
Oh my
man.
God. What's the one's name? She has. They're from Australia. They live in Australia.
Let me see if I can pull up the one I got.
I think you talking about Ducky Face
Ducky. Yeah, I love Ducky.
and
Yeah.
her sister and there's quite a few of them, man. I'm surprised, that's one thing I'm proud of the Sudanese people, man. I mean they're out there pushing the line in terms of the modeling industry. They're doing the thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And, my brother, my Nigerian brother.
Yeah, Dinus, I just want to say that our people need to, our Black American brothers need to, not have this notion about Africa all the time.
Mhm.
They need to visit the continent.
Mhm.
They need to see how it is. They need to understand it. They need to understand like you understand it. It's the same thing with me. I had to like go to Canada and see how Canada is. I had to go to UK and see how UK is. So our brothers in the States and our sisters should understand that too. That's my take.
All right, cool. Well, man, I appreciate it, brothers. I enjoyed this. Everyone, thank you for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you're
Hey,
new,
what's your
go
oh
ahead,
my bad, my bad.
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say what the brother, you got an email or something like that? Or a social media?
Oh, I do police brutality stuff.
Okay.
What I'll do, Tori,
Okay, yeah, you just
I'll
connect me
link you
with it.
guys up on the
All
email.
right, cool. All right.
I'll link you guys up, no problem. But everyone, thank you for joining. Make sure you go to search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Uhuru. Peace.